Now, to spotlight what's good about Fresno and the Valley, our next guest, Rachel Carpenter, is here, and she makes stuff. She's an artist, not just an average artist, but a pretty complex and impressive artist, I must say.
Thank you.
First of all, we have these things hanging in front of us, and you made these. I'm going to handle one if it's okay.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I'm going to grab a purple one. Look at how beautiful those are. And they're made out of wood?
Yes.
So there's a wood base, because they look like they're metallic or something. Looks like they're not easy to make.
They're pretty easy to make. It's just time-consuming.
Yeah.
I make the heart patterns. I cut them out of wood, and then I sand them.
How do you cut them? You have some kind of tricky saw?
I go to IdeaWorks, and I can cut them out on either a scroll saw or a jigsaw. I mean, jigsaw or bandsaw.
And you're doing it by hand, or?
Usually by hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty scary if a saw's going, and you're an artist, you need your hands, so.
Yeah. One of the, I think the best things about scroll saws and band saws is that there's only the front of the blade.
Oh, I see.
So if you put your hands in the back you can't get cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you call it a skill saw, because you're skilled. Now, these are Valentine's, but Valentine's Day doesn't have to be just one day a year.
Actually,
Hearts go year-round.
Right. My business name is Heartfelt Home.
Oh, okay.
And so I tend to really like to make hearts. I made some crocheted hearts in the past, but I wanted to kind of put a little spin on a wood heart. And with these, I had a lot of little, actually big rhinestones hanging out, and I went, I think I would like to put them on. So I would just put a simple rhinestone on, and then this one was one of my first ones. It's got a pom-pom, and I'm like, no, I don't like the pom-poms. But when I make these, you can kind of see like the foil doesn't cover it all the way, and that's on purpose. I wonder
how you got it metallic.
Yeah, there's metallic ink underneath, and then once the ink dries, then I put foil on it. And let's see, I think this one here is kind of, you can really see how the metallic behind the foil kind of gives it a different look. And then I was just kind of playing around, and I noticed that because I really liked it antiqued and a little bit vintage looking, but then I noticed that when I put some other colors on there, I liked it even better. And
now you are an artist, and your mediums are wood?
Wood, fabric, yarn, thread,
doing some
jewelry. Yeah, I do a lot of beads and crystals and semi-precious stones.
Do we have any photos, or do we just have this live, couple live things we're going to talk about today?
Just the live things, yeah.
Okay, good enough. Now, you do this work at a place called IdeaWorks.
IdeaWorks.
Tell us about that.
IdeaWorks is sort of like a gym, but instead of workout equipment, you go there and use tools.
Okay.
And they have every kind of tool that you can imagine. I could have cut these out with the laser cutter. I tend to like things a little bit more handmade. IdeaWorks has theme nights usually from 5 to 8, and depending on the theme night, it's free to the public.
Wow.
We also have workshops on everything you can think of. So Sunday is Sawdust Sunday, and you can take workshop classes on Sunday.
Where is this IdeaWorks?
It's at 1730 H Street.
It's downtown.
Yeah, it's just a couple blocks south of Divisadero. Yeah, so I like going in there.
Do you have a membership, or you said
I have a membership.
So people could get a monthly membership, and
yes, and they have They have classes. They have they have a welding shop. They have a metal shop. They have a glass blower. He gives workshops. I don't think you can go in and use his equipment unless you're doing a workshop. There's a full wood shop, and they have computer graphics, but they also have it's easier to describe
writing code.
Yes. Tech Tuesdays, they have theme nights. So we're going to, in March, I think we're going to be having a raspberry jam A Raspberry is a Raspberry Pi is a very small computer board that's a computer, and you can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. So they have a Raspberry Jam in order, and that's nationwide. That they're celebrating this little computer board, and then March 14th is Pi Day. So it's 3/14.
Yeah, March 14th. Yeah.
So we actually have a Pi Day where we're going to have real pie,
Okay.
and the Raspberry Pis.
Raspberry Pis.
So
Well,
those are two new events, but they have workshops. So one of the things I always suggest people do is if you're interested, you're going to have to know how to use the equipment. And if you don't know how to use the equipment, you can take a workshop. A woodworking workshop is 6 weeks long. I don't know the price, but I know it's over $70. And so any workshop that's over $70, at the end of the workshop, you get a free 1-month membership.
Oh, my goodness.
So the best thing to do is to take the wood shop class or a metal shop class. Take a workshop class. Learn how to use the tools so you get signed off so you can use them. We don't want anybody losing digits. But and then play with it for a month, then take another class because you could
keep your monthly membership just going to workshops.
You could have a membership just going to workshops, yeah. And so I would say the best way to do it is to take the workshops, get them under your belt, and then once you're through all of them, then get the membership. But that might not be so wise because we might be raising our memberships. Yeah. But it's still a good way to do it.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, so to speak.
Yes.
That is, we have an elephant behind us, an actual... What did you call it?
It's an armature.
Armature, which means a kind of a sketch.
It's a framework that I'm going to be filling in. So you can kind of see his legs stand out a little bit. There's a box here, and then his butt's kind of empty. I'm going to be putting chicken wire and rounding that out so that I can put the tail in the middle. And then his front side, he's got ears that come out, and then his head comes out, and then the trunk only stops here because the idea with him is that I'm going to be using the same chicken wire that I'm using to form out the butt to form out the trunk, and I want it to have more of a curve than wood will give me. And I'm also going to be curving the front of the ears with the chicken wire, and that'll be a base for paper mache.
Paper mache.
And he's going to, this is a saddle, you can't really tell, but this is a saddle which there's a box inside.
Okay.
And he'll have a nice pretty tray on top, so it'll be a useful piece of furniture. But because I've been dragging him around since Wednesday, just finished him on Wednesday, I've noticed he's kind of a pain to drag around, and I'm going to have him in a lot of my displays for Art Hop and so I think I'm going to recess some wheels so that they're just barely showing.
You'll move him a little easier.
And so he'll move a little bit easier. I could put a leash on him.
Well, let's do, there are signals, we're running out of time, but
okay.
How do people reach you or find you? Is there a web page or a Facebook? Or?
I'm on Facebook, Rachel Carpenter. I do have some odd pages, but I'm not really promoting my pages yet. Okay. I draw and I do a lot of interesting things. The next time I come in, I would like to come in with him finished.
That would be fun.
And then I can explain the process that I went through.
Keep taking pictures along the way, and we'll run through all the pictures. Now, where do you usually do your Art Hop?
I usually do my Art Hop at IdeaWorks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down on 8th Street.
Yeah. In March, the theme of our Art Hop is books. Mm-hmm. And so I'm doing books on India. Mm-hmm. And I think that Raj here should be finished by March.
Indian elephant, obviously.
Yes.
And if somebody wants to reach you, I guess we have your phone number on the screen.
Yes, my phone number is 559-287-1141. And
anything else you want our viewers to know?
I do multiple things. Until you see me at Art Hop, you really can't appreciate a lot of the stuff that I do. Unfortunately, I don't tend to do well with the same thing constantly, so I change it up a lot. The elephant came from a video on YouTube, and I switched it up. If you check on YouTube and do how to make a paper mache elephant, you'll notice that the elephant aperture is not the same as mine by a long shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're an artist, that's why. Well, I would say the first Thursday in March,
Yes.
people can see
Come down
Rachel
to
Carpenter's
8th Street.
work. You can buy some stuff, I would imagine. You sell
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
And down on 8th Street to Idea Works. And in the meantime, look for her on Facebook. We gave you her phone number. If you want to reach Rachel and you didn't write down the phone number, call me. I'll give you her direct number. But we're glad you came, and I'm anxious to see the progress, the pictures of the progress on this.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.
Come on.